welcome back to Y&R For Life, where we talk about all things Y&R related. We talk about what's going on, my predictions. What do I think's going to happen? Hey, we even talk about fashion on the show from time to time because I'm a big-time fashion girl, so we got to spill the tea about that from time to time. If you're new to this channel, my question is, what took you so long to get here? And if you are returning, what's up? Long time no see. What can I say about this week? Not that much, but I will do my best to recall whatever I can from the craziness that happened this week. But before we begin and talk about all things Y&R, just a couple of disclaimers. If you don't want to know what's going on, you kind of want to get caught up on your own, this may not be what you want to see or hear, but I am so grateful that you are here. And if I happen to not mention something in particular, it could be because I plumb forgot, or it really just wasn't newsworthy, so I didn't bother mentioning it. It is what it is, nature of the beast. That's what I like to call it. And lastly, if you do like this type of content, you like what you see, you like what you hear, be so kind if you hit that like and subscribe button down below, and also the bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. Okay. The beginning of this week, we started with Holden and Audra. First, I'm going to say I loved Audra's outfit. That fuchsia coat she was wearing and her little handbag on the table, on point. So I'm going to give her props for that. Even her hair was fabulous. So yay, stylist where she was concerned. Holden, what can I say about it? I mean, he may be eye candy for some people, but he does nothing for me. In my head, why is he still on the show? This is just in my opinion. You get rid of Damien, which actually had a slight bit of promise, but now you keep this guy around? Oh, he's aggravating. So anyway, he sees Audra on the patio. She's like, buy me a latte. I'm like, well then, how's that? So he's like, well, yeah, okay, you want me to buy a latte because you just see somebody you happen to know, so you're just going to beg them to get you a latte and whatever. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was just rhetoric. So he agrees to get her latte, and she's like, come sit with me. So he's like, got a few minutes. I'm meeting Claire. Claire, oh, we're going to get into her. So anyway, he sits down, talks with Audra, and of course it's all about back what happened with LA. Audra gives her story about, her growing up and how she felt and how she was never going to feel this way again. She had I don't know if she said hand-me-downs, but less than stellar outfits, those kinds of things. I don't even know if she mentioned thrift stores, and I'm thinking thrift stores. I go to the thrift store. I ain't got no problems with the thrift store, but okay. So anyway, she's like, I'm not gonna let anybody, treat me that way, the way that I was treated before. So this is her claim. So Holden is defending Claire and well, she's really not like that. She kind of came from humble beginnings herself. She didn't ask for the lifestyle she's a part of now. Who cares? Nobody cares. No, nobody cares. Just saying. It was a bunch of rhetoric that was being spewed left, right, and center. So anyway, she's like, look, I'm over Claire, Little Miss Perfect or whatever she called her. She's like, I'm over her. I'm done. But if need I remind you, she was the one that had her hands around my throat. And yeah, I slapped her, but this is what she did. Wah. This is all I can say where they're concerned. I mean, are we going to constantly go over the whole Claire thing? Which, quite frankly, I don't want to hear about Claire. She is a nuisance as far as I'm concerned. Again, I don't know why she's still on the show. Why is she hanging around? She has no job now, but yet she is surely up in everybody's business. Okay. So yes, that's that. It got, it went further where he meets Claire at the coffee house, and Audra happens to, eavesdrop because she was strolling on by, and she was like, oh, so she pulls up a chair on the patio and close enough where she can overhear the conversation. Quite frankly, anybody can overhear these conversations. They're not quiet. So anyway, he's talking about, well, you know what? I'm going to go to LA. This, he's going to LA, side note, is because Kane has commissioned him to go to LA. We'll get back to Kane. Okay, so now he's telling Claire this. She's like, oh, is it for business? Is it for pleasure? What is it for? You know, Claire, Miss 20,000 questions. She's always got to be all up. You know, even he was like, what's up with all the questions? Didn't I say? I'm just telling you. She always has 1,000,001 questions to ask everybody. And I'm like, why doesn't people just tell her to mind her business? Why does she have to be up on everybody's grill? Like, enough. I told you she bothers me. So he invites her to LA. She's like, okay, I've got some business to deal with over there myself. Pardon? He even questioned her. I'm like, you don't work. What business could you have? Well, obviously, she's just trying to dig in for more information about the guy who Holden, bumped off. The art dealer or whatever he was. I can't even remember his name. Could be anything. Tom, Bill, whatever. Not important. So Audra had overheard her saying that she's got to go to LA too, and it was like, oh, so in my head, we haven't seen it, but in my head, I wouldn't be surprised if Audra hightailed it to LA too, because she's gonna try and like cut off whatever at the past. This is just what I think might happen. Okay, so let's dial it back a little bit. So we saw Kane and Phyllis. Those two are like their own little brat pack. They come into the Newman office, and Phyllis, she is on a natural high, man. She's talking about renaming Newman. What was it? Ashby Summers? What? How do you go from Newman Enterprises to Ashby Summers? She's like, Ashby Summers Enterprises. What? Ashby Summers Inc. or Incorporated. What? Even Kane had the good sense to go, that's all great in what you're saying, but none of this is going to happen. None of it. Because how are we going to change the name of Newman Enterprises, which is like a household name? It already has, street cred kind of thing. Like, how are we going to go change that? Like, basically, it's going to tank the company if you start flip-flopping names. Like, what? So then she's like, well, maybe we could call it Dumas, or maybe I should have my own, whatever, alter ego. I can't remember what she said, but I was like, okay, Phyllis, enough already. She's been walking around all high and mighty. Again, it's not going to last. It's not going to last. But let her just roll on with whatever she wants to roll on with for a few more days, because it's all going right down the drain. Okay. So at some point in time, because again, this is like a mishmash of all kinds of craziness that happen. So at some point in time, Billy Boy comes in and kind of, hey, what's going on? How come you haven't signed the papers? Or like, basically, are you jerking me around? He's like, this is Kane now. He's like, no, whatever plans we have is going to have to be on the back burner. Why do you ask? Because at some point during the week, Victor had seen Kane and basically was like, you're going to sign back over the company to me if you want your family to be basically okay. And of course, Kane was like, ding! What are you talking about, Victor? What are you talking about, my family? What is this? What's going on with my family? And Victor was like, he might as well have had like a Scotch neat or something. He's like, oh, you know. I'm like, okay. So the whole guise is that Lily and the twins are supposed to be captured so that basically it'll trick Kane into handing back over the company. Which, in my head, let's just think logically here. If he was able to siphon Newman by, I don't know, was it the push of a button, like a command, if you will, and let's just say he hands it back over, what's to say he couldn't do it again? I don't know. This whole AI program is just weird. It's just weird. I mean, the whole turning on its host kind of thing. Why did you have that built in? I'm very confused, Kane, because I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, this whole AI thing is a far stretch. Now, don't get me wrong. This day and age, anything's possible, I guess. But this one is like a whole other level of weird. So I'm just saying, what's to say he couldn't do it again if he gave it back to Victor? Who knows? So, of course, now he's on high alert. Kane is. Like, something has happened to Lily and the twins. All because of Victor. And he's like, look, all hands on deck where I'm concerned. I need to find out what's going on with my family. So that's why he commissioned Holden to go to LA to find out. Do you see how crazy this is? So now, Holden's like, okay, hopefully Victor doesn't get me because I don't want any of his thunder. Well, no, you don't, Holden, but you're talking about, well, Kane is the only gig in town that I can get. Then leave town. Go back, bartend at the Shadow Room again. Like, why are you here? Moving right along. So, as it pertains to Victor with Lily and the twins, everybody, well, I'm going to say Chelsea and Nikki are abreast of the fact that Victor wanted to kind of kidnap. I use the word kidnap ever so lightly because we know with Mariah. So he wants to, again, use Lily and the twins as like pawns in his little game. But he wants, at this point, it's like Lily is aware. So Adam, he ended up confessing to Chelsea because Chelsea was like, what the hell is going on, Adam? Like, be upfront. So, lapdog Adam basically spills the beans and tells Chelsea what's what. And she's like, oh my God, Adam. Oh no, what? Then she goes over, and this is like broken telephone. Why? You tell Chelsea, and she just toddles on off, and she ends up telling Nikki because Nikki's like pressing what's going on. So now see how Chelsea and Nikki are like two peas in a pod now? Weird. So now it's this whole, they now tell Victor, well, Chelsea did because she's crazy that way. She told Victor that Adam told her what his plan was. Well, Daddy-O wasn't too happy about that. And of course now Adam is he's on the outs. He's on the bad side. And of course he's like, Chelsea, why did you do this? She's like, I'm sorry, Adam. I didn't mean for this, but, I wanted to kind of, let Victor be aware. And Chelsea, you couldn't have expected him a different outcome. You couldn't have expected anything other than what occurred. All right. So, and Nikki, you know how Victor is. He's going to be mad at you like he was recently. Oh well, they, the whole Newman clan, they are messy right now. And add in Victoria and Nicholas, it's a hot mess. I mean, you got Nick who's there high on pain pills. Well, I guess at this point it's the what, fentanyl. I don't know, because even Victoria was like, oh, easy on the pain medication. Oh no, I'm okay, Nick. So now all the little Newman they've got this plan here with three of them, another plan with Nikki and Chelsea, insert Adam here and there. So there's all these little pockets of plans where Kane is concerned and Lily, and the whole thing. And Adam said it. See, bravo, Adam, because you said what I said. He's like, if Lily is abreast of all this and is willing to go through with it, I guarantee you there's going to be something in it for her. And what did I say? Chancellor. She used to run Chancellor, so it only makes sense. I said this already. I'm like, she'll do it, but she better get something, in return for it. That'll stick it to Billy. It'll stick it to Kane, and she's back on top. And then Phyllis, bye, Phyllis. Simple as that. I mean, we saw Daniel this week basically tell Phyllis, if you don't give Victor his company back, you don't even think about talking to me and Lucy, like, ever again. Messy. Mess. So let all of them ruminate over whatever. Let Phyllis, run around like a mad woman, talking about how she's finally on top. Just let them be who they're going to be. And we just got to see how all of this plays out. We did see by the end of the week, Kane had approached Victor and basically said, okay, I'll give you the company back. Just basically, I want my family, that kind of thing. I don't know if it's going to be so cut and dry, but now that, complete side note, Christelle Khalil, she had her third child. So, there's the pictures showing her with the baby, and she's working out, and, I think she was back on set filming. Don't quote me. So now all that's happened. In my head, she will come back on the scene sooner than later. Oh, one other side note. Word on the street, I believe this to be true. Crazy Patty Williams is supposed to come back in the show. And I said, why? What for? You got Mariah, who we will talk about. She's screwy Louie, and now you're going, I thought Patty Williams died. I thought she did. And somebody said, well, if you're bringing her back, you better bring Paul back. I mean, the GCPD needs somebody more than Burrow. Did you see his hair? Meow. Adam's hair? Meow. Oh, I'm telling you, this week was funny, and it was just crazy. Okay, so yes, side note, Crazy Patty Williams, she's supposed to come back on the show. Paul Williams, probably never going to come back. They did him dirty, Doug Davidson, so what are you going to do? And if all we got is Burrow, Genoa City's in trouble. Just putting it out there. Okay, so speaking of Burrow, somehow Sharon scraped him up out of I don't know where. And the whole thing is that he is now, what is he, the detective? Whatever. Trying to solve the case as to where is little Dominic, and let's bring Mariah home for her to answer to her crime. Abby did a video, I guess for her gram or whatever, for followers. yeah, Devon's losing his mind. He's trying to be demure, but I guarantee you he wants to wring Mariah's neck. In all her cuckoo crazy, he kind of doesn't care. Like, you took my child, and I don't blame him. You took my child? You took my child. Okay, it's on. We're talking earrings off, whatever. Roll up the sleeves. You mess with my child? Meanwhile, Mariah, day late, dollar short. Let's not forget, she's there having dreams about Dominic in her belly and the whole 9 yards, and the fact there's Dominic sleeping in the car after she wakes up from her dreams, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're here with me." This little boy is sleeping all the time. So anyway, she's like, "You're my son. I'm your mom." What? Oh, you see? Oh. Anyway, so she's sitting back going on about Dominic should have always been with her for, because it was her heartbeat that he felt. And, I don't I don't get it. Mariah, you can't be this far gone. Anyway, so now back at home in Genoa City, as I said, there's Abby and Devon trying to do whatever. Sharon's helping out, getting Burrow in order to help out with this investigation. I don't know what he's going to do, but all the best. In my head, she's just going to show up at the door one day with the kid. It's been a couple days, but to me, that she's allegedly going to be, and this is spoilers, she's going to allegedly take Dominic into another country. I don't think she would know another country at this point because she seems so far off the beaten path. Anything is possible. So she could think she's going to another country. Meanwhile, she's still in America, in Genoa City. So what you gonna do? I think the last thing I'm gonna talk about, and I don't even know why this should be the last thing. It was so annoying. Oh, we'll talk about two more things, actually. They're both annoying. Okay, first one, let's get off the plate here. Sienna and Claire, they bumped into one another because Noah and Nick were having a private conversation. It was funny. Noah's like, I don't know why she has to leave because, I'm going to tell her whatever you said anyway. Okay, Noah. And I'm thinking, well, actually, that's kind of true. That's exactly what he would do, but all right. So, yes, Sienna and Claire bump into one another at the Newman house. I was like, oh, isn't she making herself comfortable having tea out of the fine china? Okay. So it was this back and forth where I guess Claire had gone on her horse and she was trying to implore Sienna to come on a horse with her to go horseback riding. Sienna's like, no, I don't know anything about it. I wouldn't know what to do. This is not my lifestyle, whatever. So she tells Claire about, I'm not used to this lifestyle, and I'm used to basically like slinging it back in LA, music, bars, whatever, laid back, chilling, whatever. This lifestyle, I wouldn't even know what fork to use, whatever. I don't see that within her, so she ain't wrong. She's not wrong. So she's like, this is Noah's lifestyle, and I don't want to take that away from him. Okay, Claire could basically care less because she's like, he's my cousin. I just don't know him. It is what it is. So anyway, Sienna, what was that art dealer, back in LA? 20,000 questions because she wants to get information. She wants to know. So basically, Sienna's like, "Oh, you're really digging for information, aren't you?" She's like, well, yeah. She wasn't hiding it. Will she find out? Absolutely. Not a doubt in my mind. Whether it be him just spilling the beans, Holden that is, or she just finds out what she needs to find out, which I'm going to go with the latter, but okay. And then she'll confront Holden, and then it'll be like, I'm an idiot. I need to go back to Kyle. And Kyle should be like, don't know you, not interested, moving right along. So yeah, that was Sienna and Claire. And the other thing would have been Noah again. Sienna left, and she left him a note basically saying, I'm out. And he's like, oh, Sienna left me. He's telling Sharon this. Oh, Sienna left me. Oh my God. Sharon's like, maybe she went for a walk, or how long ago she left me. Oh, Noah, get a grip. So what if she left you? So Sharon's like, son, XYZ, whatever. He's like, look, I'm so sick and tired of you and Dad saying whatever. You don't know her like I do, and I'm in love with her. I love her. I like almost died for her, and I would still die for her. What? You would do what? Oh, no. No. So Sharon basically was like, look, you don't think all this stuff hurts me because at the end of the day, my son almost died. My daughter is Screwy Louie. She's a kidnapper. So yeah, I kind of think this stuff would hurt. Oh. Anyways, like, oh, sorry, Mom, whatever. But then she's like, but you know what? I can see that you love her. I can see all this. You know what? And I'm not going to stop you. If you need to go after her, then do that. And then Noah's like, okay. Can you believe this? Oh, you know what? Sharon, you said the right thing. Go after her, Noah. You just run off after Sienna. And just don't look back. Keep it moving. Because what are you adding to the show at this point? All you're doing is you're just na boo boo. You're all upset at Nick. You're upset at Sharon. You're cheese that Sienna took off. And you're like on broken pieces. Nobody cares, Noah. Nobody cares. I know I don't. So yeah, as you see, this week was just crazy. Do I think that all this with Newman is going to come to a head and he'll get it back this week? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they'll stretch this a little further. And there's going to be a flip-flopping back and forth. But we shall see. As it pertains to Claire, yeah, she's going to get closer to the truth. Why? Because that's who Claire is. She is not going to stop at nothing in order to get what she wants, because I think she feels like a sense of entitlement now. So whether it be information or just maybe some sort of status clout, I wouldn't put it past her. And spoiler alert for this coming week, looks like Jack and Nikki become a trifle closer. And Diane, she's going to see this. And all I'm going to say is, didn't I say that this might come? Didn't I say? So stay tuned. See if my prediction comes true. I can smell it in the air. So yeah. And let's see how long it's going to take for Lily to come back, because I feel like it's going to be sooner, much sooner than later. So that was pretty much the week in a nutshell. Oh, we did see a little bit of Michael and Lauren with Diane. And that's because of Jill, um, her illness, and, the whole Billy, should I go, should I stay? I almost, even though I slightly remembered that uh, Jill and Lauren were half siblings, I never even put two and two together that Billy was Lauren's nephew. Like, it was only this week I'm like, you know what? That's his aunt. This is so weird. But okay. And poor Michael, he's sitting there. He's like, why doesn't Lauren and Diane understand where I'm coming from? Victor was my mentor, and he lost his whole life. And, I feel for the man. Michael, I love you. But Victor, he uses you like a little lapdog, and you fall for it every time. So you need you need to listen to your wife. She knows. She knows. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, that was pretty much the week in a nutshell. So if you did stick around to the end of this video, I appreciate your time. I love you lots. It means the world to me as usual. And yeah, we're gonna see what happens this coming week. And I don't know. Hopefully, this coming week, Dominic will find himself back with his parents, because if they hold on to this any longer, it's going to annoy the stuffings out of me. But what you going to do? That's soap opera land for you. So you guys, if you do like this type of content, as I said, if you like what you hear, you like what you see, it would be so kind if you hit that like and subscribe. And also share, share, share. Why? Because sharing is caring. Let's grow this channel, shall we? And you know what? Don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. And I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye.